So, creatives, if you haven't heard, we lost both Dolly Parton and Tim Curry this week. This one hurts, but it does bring up a really good point. We're going to talk about legacy. A lot of you make the assumption that you have to be famous to have a legacy. This is not true. If you end up exploring interviews from both Dolly Parton and Tim Curry, you will find that both of them were heavily influenced by people whose names you've never heard of. Because a legacy is not necessarily about your name. It is about the things that you do, leaving a mark that continues after you're gone. This is what art is for. When you make art, you are not just making it out of the fountain of yourself. You are making it in response to everything around you, your life, the way things actually are, the way people live. This stuff is a gold mine to archaeologists, but that's not what I'm talking about. When you make art, you are communicating with other humans. You are communicating things that you think, things that you feel. You're helping them to feel things. You're helping them to think things. And you're actually affecting them for the rest of their lives. There's a reason the fascists go for the arts first. Every time. Through your art, you are teaching humanization instead of dehumanization. Through your art, you're teaching humor. You're teaching a way to deal with trauma. You're giving a chance for people to feel traumatic things that aren't even real, which is major catharsis. You are helping people in ways that you have no idea. Yes, through your silly little story. I have a silly story about a magical lady being hounded by a prophesying clamshell, and it opened up one of my readers' minds because it had never occurred to him before that being the damsel in distress sucked because you were helpless. He'd only ever seen it from the rescuer's point of view. I changed his understanding of female characters with my silly story about a prophesying clamshell. You don't know the effect your art is having. You don't know. People aren't going to tell you generally, but they carry away with them things that they took from your art. That's why I tell you it matters. There are going to be people generations down from now who are affected by choices made by people who made those choices because they encountered your art. Make your art. You're not going to be famous. You don't need to be. Dolly would tell you to make it. So would Tim Curry. So, make your art. Work your grief out if you need to through that. But understand, you are creating a legacy. Sit down with me and together, let's make something new.